Greetings viewers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be working on the sandbar a little bit. Unfortunately the parts I had ordered have still not made it to me yet. I ordered these parts, it's been over a month I believe it was in July when I ordered them from a company that specializes in these import K-cars placed in Canada. And what really sucks is I called them before I placed the order online to confirm that the stuff was in stock, and they said, as far as I recall, everything I wanted was in stock. But here we are all this time later, emailed them, and apparently they were waiting for something to come back in that apparently wasn't in stock when they thought they had it. So no parts, no repairs yet. Really hoping to get the time belt and all that stuff in soon, because we are probably overdue for that, and I don't want to risk this timing belt snapping and ruining this little engine. So for today's video, I know we haven't seen the sandbar in a while or any real Subaru content. It's been a lot of tool talk, which I enjoy. I know a lot of you viewers do, but I know a lot of you really don't. So today we're just gonna tinker around with the sandbar a little bit. After putting on these aftermarket wheels, I noticed that you can see a lot more of the brakes, and they're kind of cruddy looking. They got some surface rust on them, stuff like that. So we've got some cans of flat black Rust-Oleum spray paint. We're gonna take the wire wheel in here, bust up a bunch of this corrosion and junk, and spray everything with a nice coating of, it's either flat black, I think I might actually bought satin black. Either way, just to make everything look a little nicer, a little newer. I know we got a lot of dents and dings and paint chips and a little bit of surface rust all over this truck. I mean, it's a commercial, quote unquote, a commercial vehicle in Japan. It's not a show vehicle. But you got to take care of these things. You want them to last, so need to address the rust and any issues I find as soon as possible. If you recall back to the inspection video, I found the rust had gotten through the front cross member near the steering linkage. And as most of you know, I'm not a welder. I don't have a welder, and I've never really welded before in my life, other than tinkering around a little bit here and there. Would like to get a welder and teach myself to weld, or take some classes, but I really don't have the place to put a welder or anything like that. All the equipment right now, the small building I keep my tools in and all my shop equipment from when I closed my last business is already overflowing, so I don't really need to add anything to that until I get the shop built here on the farm. On that, I don't know what to tell you guys. I've contacted a concrete contractor over a month ago. He came out, was supposed to give me an estimate, never heard back from him, called him, he never answered, left voicemail, so nothing there. I've gotten a referral from another concrete contractor. I haven't gotten in touch with him yet. I had an estimate out with a local pole barn builder, and yeah, it's been over a month, hadn't heard anything back from him. But I do have that estimate from the steel building place, and that's probably what I'm gonna go with. But I gotta get a concrete slab down before I can put a steel building up. So, all that out of the way, let's go ahead and take the wheels off. Already got the car jacked up, got it on jack stands. Get in here, clean these wheel wells up, clean these brake drums up, spray it up, make it look a little bit neater, a little bit nicer. And those of you that are curious, yes, the stubby M12 has plenty of torque for lug nuts. Forget how lightweight those wheels are. So as you see, we got some rust here. Not bad, especially you northern viewers are like, what rust? I don't see any rust. We got some surface rust here on the backing plate, on the drum itself. We got a little bit of dirt and crud back here, not really rust on the coil spring. Got some rust on the axle. Again, we see our rear shock is blown and leaking. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get a good source for the shocks yet. They're quite expensive to ship just because of their quote-unquote explosive nature, being a pressurized cylinder sealed. It's extra shipping to get them over from Japan. But I did get contacted by someone local, actually up in North Carolina, that makes coilovers for sandbars and K-trucks, and mainly focuses, as I can tell from the website, in lifts. You know me, I like keeping stuff stock. I don't want to lift this truck. I want to keep it factory, and I'd like to have factory shocks on it. But talk to him, we might be able to work something out if I can't find anything else. So let's go ahead and put some safety glasses on, get the wire wheel, and start attacking this. Should have brought some rags and brake parts cleaner to swipe that down before we start painting. So we got it looking a lot neater and nicer in here. Let's give it a quick spray. Get all the dust out of there. Of my favorite Jungle Juice brake parts cleaner. Let that flash dry really quickly as we shake up our can of, it is satin black Rust-Oleum. And give her a once over. And this stuff dries pretty quick, so we'll let that dry a little bit. I'll probably go ahead and take the other side off and start working on the passenger side. All right, so got that side drying. We'll go ahead and start cleaning this up. This backing plate is a little bit worse, and the drum looks like it's a little bit more rusted as well. Gonna go ahead and probably hit this control arm, part of the frame rail, the springs here. I know they're dirty, but it's Rust-Oleum. I'm not painting the car perfectly. I'm just trying to get, you know, more coverage on it for corrosion protection. Ideally, you'd want to pressure wash all this stuff off and thoroughly clean it and degrease it first, but again, it's a cheap can of Rust-Oleum, so we're just gonna go for it. And we will touch it up as necessary. That ought to do it. Make sure you breathe in a good healthy lungful of that dust. Good, now that we got 10 coats of paint on there all at once, you all can see clearly why I should never, ever do body work or paint work whatsoever. There's a reason why I started turning wrenches instead of spraying paint. All right, now that that's basically dry, we're gonna go ahead and put the wheels back on the rear, let the rear down, and go to the front and get those brake calipers. All right, a little bit of rust here in the center of the rotor, a little bit on the caliper, some back here on the shock mount slash spindle, a little bit on the steering linkage and the front control arm, as well as the CV axle. We got this rust here in the corner of the cab underneath where the mud guard is. I was going to take these off and work on that rust, but it has rusted through, so I'm going to get my body guy to cut that out and put some fresh sheet metal there to fix that. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and touch all this up in here. And no guys, it's not a big deal to get the paint on the rotor. Once it's dry and you drive it, the first time you hit the brakes, it's gonna knock that dry paint off there. So no big concern on that. If you are concerned, you can just take like a little Scotch-Brite pad or something and just rub it off of the braking surface. It's not really gonna matter either way. So not really worth taping it off just to paint the center. Other than that, I think we've basically covered everything I want to cover on this side. We'll go ahead and jump on the passenger side. All right, now that our paint's dry, we can go ahead and put the front wheels back on. As I was talking about with the rotors, you don't have to necessarily tape them off if you're painting, just don't like coat them in paint. But you know, it's always a good idea to go ahead and tape them off, clean them off. You don't want to risk contaminating the brake pads with paint, but if you let it dry till it's 100% dry and dry it, and it's a very thin coating, the brake pads and friction should burn it right off without any issue, without contaminating the pads. And of course, we can't forget to retorque the lug nuts. All right, guys, there we go. Quick and easy. Got those wheel wells darkened up, got the brakes darkened up. Nice and solid black, no more rust. Looking a lot neater, a lot nicer in here. We got plenty of work still left to do, but not bad for the afternoon's work. Definitely a big improvement to where we were before we started. Definitely looking a lot cleaner. All right, guys, so not too bad of a job for an afternoon's work. Wasn't very strenuous, just a little bit time consuming. So we got all that rust cleaned up, as you saw in the pan around the bottom of the sandbar. It looks a lot cleaner, a lot neater now. So we're not gonna have to worry as much about rust in the future with winter coming up, although it's not really an issue here in South Carolina. We don't salt the roads, we don't really see cold temperatures, and we haven't seen any decent accumulation of snow in probably 4 or 5 years. So not really worried about it, nor would I really probably take it out. Actually, I say that, if we do get some snow, I'm probably gonna be taking this thing out and making some videos. So it's getting a little bit late in the afternoon. I think I'm gonna pack things up here at the farm and maybe mount the GoPro up in the bed on the little headache rack, or maybe in the cab, or both. Head out to Quick Trip. I gotta get some gas and only run non-ethanol on this being carbureted. So I haven't done a ride along with you guys yet, so maybe I will stick a time-lapse ride along with the sandbar at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video.